memoir. Who would have ever thought at 19 I'd take it that far? My life is like a movie without the caption. That means even in the next scene, I swear to God, you never know what happened. I started rapping, man, before I could talk, and I was running on beats before I knew how to walk. So the next time you see a body that's been lined in some chalk, just know that I was probably there and took it with an assault. So save the salt, I sprinkle pepper each and every letter. You hating pussies couldn't stop me, yet you get together.
Let me unmute my mic. What's up, guys? Welcome to another edition of the Nolan Show, a New York sports YouTube and Twitter show. See the number right up on the top of the screen, 424-432-3565. Don't be afraid to give me a call if you want to start shooting the shit with me. You know, we're going to be talking some Yanks today, a little bit of Anthony Volpe and his struggles. Going to be talking about more than that, too, because Gleyber Torres has been tearing it up. So a little bit of positive and negative Yanks takes. Don't worry, I'm not all negative about the Yanks. Going to be talking about the Mets because they've been positive yesterday. Home opener finally started. Shout out to the boys that were there yesterday. Shane's sons, we got to meet up literally out of nowhere. That was dope. Literally, I was running out of the stadium. I was trying to find you guys actually all day, but it was just so hectic there. Speaking of other guys in the amazing Mets chat, shout out to you guys. Also, man, the Mets way, we're going to be going live sometime this weekend too, possibly. So check out that pod as well. Going to be talking some Knicks today, though. A little bit of Brooklyn Nets, too. Going to show them some love because they're also going to be facing the 76ers. And I feel like the 76ers, like, yeah, they're a top three team in the East. But, I mean, if there's one team in out of those top three that would get upset, it would be the 76ers. Let's be real. Doc Rivers has a history, not a very good history in the playoffs. We're going to be talking about that a little bit later, too. And I'm going to be talking about the Knicks, of course, the New York Knicks. Those are my guys, man. Emmanuel quickly had a great year. Jalen Brunson, he's him. Should be most improved player of the year. Going to be talking about that as well. But let's get right into it. I want to talk some Yanks to start off. I want to talk about Anthony Volpe because he's been struggling. You see it right there on the screen. I just put it up. He's batting only 143, 280 on base percentage. That's not a very good look. Not a very good look. I'm going to switch cams real quick. But yeah, I'm not too high on Anthony Volpe. I was high on him, but actually I'm going to switch games back. That one looks blurry. But yeah, Anthony Volpe, I was high on him. I was very high on him. You could listen to my recent podcast. I was very high on him, but now I'm not so high on him. You know, I thought maybe the 22 games in AAA that he only played throughout his minor league career wasn't going to affect him that much based off of what he did in spring training. But when you really think about it, and talking to a couple of my other guys, you know, just from guys with the Mets way, guys in the Amazings Met chat too as well. Just even my pops too, another baseball guy. You know, spring training is also a time where pitchers mix around their pitches. So offensive stats are going to get inflated as well. And, you know, I'm not saying that Volpe didn't tear it up in spring training. He 100% did. Just look at the numbers. But maybe his offensive numbers were inflated because of the reason I just stated. Because pitchers are messing around with their pitchers. I mean, we saw Scherzer and Verlander also their walk rates. I mean, I'm not going to be talking about Scherzer because him struggling in spring training is also translated over in the major leagues this year. So, but listen, Volpe, he's got potential. I'm not going to say he can't turn it around as well. He could turn it around and he can make me eat my words. But from what I've seen so far, 9 strikeouts in 7 games, not too pretty. Listen, the athleticism is there. The stolen bases, you see it. Like even his first game of the year, that stolen base, that's what excited everybody. But his defense too, it's pretty good too. But he's just not getting on base. He's not hitting. He's just too like. I just don't think he might have been rushed. Like, let's be real. He might have been rushed. The Yankees were in a position where they were desperate for a shortstop. They've been desperate for a shortstop since really Didi Gregorius has left because Didi was a good stopgap and he was relatively a good shortstop for the Yankees actually. But since really Jeter and Didi, they've been trying to find that replacement. They've been trying to find that long-term solution at shortstop and they thought it could be Volpe. Brian Cashman bought into Volpe. But listen, maybe they should have went out and pursued a Xander Bogaerts in free agency last year, or even a Carlos Correa. Maybe they should have tried to get Corey Seager 2 years ago. I don't know. But Volpe just doesn't look ready yet. He could be, and like I said, he could very well turn it around because he is that good. He's got that potential. He's very good defensively, and his athleticism is off the charts. He's just not catching up to the major league level yet. And it does take time to adjust, yes. But he's only played 22 AAA games. So he didn't even give the kid a time to adjust into AAA. He's jumping from AA to the major leagues. And it's not like he's playing for the Baltimore Orioles, even though the Orioles are last year. But let's say like he's playing for the Pittsburgh Pirates, or he's playing for the Oakland A's, or another team, another small market team. Like, yeah, maybe he can make that jump. But he's playing for the New York Yankees. 27 World Series titles. Replacing, everybody's talking about him as he's the next Derek Jeter. The guy played 22 AAA games. Give him a break. Slow it down. Yeah, he's batting 143 this year, and he's only 280 on base percentage. But that's not a bad thing. He's only 21 years old. He only played 22 AAA games. Let's give him some time. Give him some time. Maybe the Yankees rushed him. Now, listen. You look at the other options for shortstop with the Yankees. I don't know who you go to, but you know who's been raking and can play shortstop? Gleyber Torres. And you know who else has been raking? Oswaldo Cabrera. Maybe you just move Cabrera to second. I don't know. But listen, Josh Donaldson has also stunk it up too, so Oswaldo Cabrera could take his spot too. But Gleyber Torres has been raking. So has Aaron Judge too. But Aaron Judge, everybody always talks about Aaron Judge and the fact that he rakes. He's always raking, and it's not really a surprise anymore. Aaron Judge is the best hitter in all of baseball. But Gleyber Torres actually has a higher batting average than him this year, and he's doing just as good as Aaron Judge this year. Is that going to be all year? No. But Gleyber Torres, I mean, we saw it in 2019 or 2018 or in 2019, I believe. People were comparing this guy to Carlos Correa. So Gleyber Torres has always had that potential, and Yankees fans have been dying for it. They've been desperate for it because once you see it, you're like, you buy in. You're like, all right, this is when he's at his best, and he hasn't played up to his best in really like 4 years. But now that he's playing up to his best again, maybe that's another dangerous piece that the Yankees didn't expect to have. And I was talking about it last week on one of my pods. I was saying that the Yankees, they might be a 100-win team. Their lineup is actually very sneaky very sneaky. If Josh Donaldson could get it going and play to the back of his baseball card, this lineup could take a huge step forward, but I don't expect that to happen. And Donaldson, I don't expect him to be on the Yankees by the middle of the year. Even though he's got a $20 million contract, maybe he moves to the bench, but he's not going to be the starting third baseman if he keeps this up. And if he is, then Brian Cashman, I don't know. Maybe that 4-year extension wasn't good. But yeah, look at the Yankees and look at the top four in the lineup: LeMahieu, Judge, Stanton, Rizzo. Those guys they've been raking. I'm going to take a quick break, like a 2-minute break, because my dog is going nuts. Now I'm just going to make sure he's not trying to eat someone. And even after Ohtani, what do you think about Steve Cohen as a whole? Like, you think this guy, what do you think he did for this Mets franchise so far?
Yeah, I think starting with the first half of the question, Ohtani's certainly on the table. The biggest barrier in the Mets' way from them landing him isn't dollars, but it really is just preference. If Ohtani still has the same preference that he had entering the MLB, which is West Coast, then the likelihood of him landing with the Mets isn't as strong as, say, the Dodgers, who, while the Dodgers might not be able to put up the highest dollar for Ohtani the way that the Mets would, it wouldn't be shocking if Ohtani, say, took a slight pay cut from the Dodgers versus what the Mets offer would be. They weren't drastically different to stay in LA, that area, to be with the Dodgers and be on the championship winning type organization still. So that is the biggest hurdle in landing him, but rest assured,
All right, let's get right back into it. Gleyber Torres is back. Looking at his numbers this year, he's batting well over 400. I mean, we're only 7 games in, so obviously it's going to take a bit drop. 409 batting average, 552 on base percentage, 727 slugging. Gleyber Torres is tearing it up. He's scorching hot right now to start the year. Over 1,000 OPS. And then you look at Stanton, too. I mean, he's batting 250. That's not bad for him when you look at Stanton overall. I mean, you really just want Stanton to bat above 240 and pop 30-plus home runs for you. He's already got 2 home runs. I mean, a little bit low for him, but I'm sure it'll really pop off. And then Judge. Aaron Judge, like I said, the best hitter in all of baseball the past 2 years. I love Ohtani, and Ohtani is the best player in all of baseball. But when it comes to hitting, Judge clears Ohtani. He clears him. And that's unquestioned. That's unquestioned. Just look at the numbers. On Judge this year, 906 OPS already, 387 on base percentage, 296 batting average. We all know that's probably going to go up too. The home run numbers is only at 2. Pete Alonso's at 4, second in the league. Only in 7 games too. But 6 games. But yeah, listen, the 8 games actually. I'm stupid. But the Yankees, I do think they can win 100 games. If there's one team that I think could win 100 games this year, Mets or Yankees, I would honestly say the Yankees. Now, does that mean the Mets are going to fail out and not be competing for a World Series or a pennant at the end of the year? No, because like we saw with the Phillies, you just need to get into the dance. Same thing with the Padres. You get into the dance, you can go far. So, and even look at NL East history. The Braves won it as a wild card team. Nationals won it as a wild card team. Now, I'm not saying the Mets are a wild card team or can't win the division, but right now, with the way things look in the Mets division, the NL East stacked. The Atlanta Braves look like the best team in baseball. And then you got the Yankees. The Red Sox stink. It's really the Blue Jays and the Rays that they got to worry about. The Orioles, they could pop off in here and there, but it's really the Blue Jays. And the Rays, yeah, they're good, but I don't think they're going to be fighting for a division. I don't think anybody sees them fighting for the division at the end of the year. So that's why I say the Yankees could be that 100-win team this year because they got that lineup. And if Gleyber Torres, I'm not going to say he keeps this numbers up, like 409 batting average, but if he can be what he was, if he can be the old Gleyber Torres, then maybe why not? Is this a contract year for Gleyber Torres? I'm not sure. But all I'm saying is this Yankees team, with the way it looks, Anthony Volpe has been struggling, yes. But Gleyber Torres, on a positive note, he's been back. Judge, he's just looking like Aaron Judge. Rizzo has been looking very, very good. And DJ LeMahieu, another guy who the Yankees need to stay healthy. It's essential that DJ LeMahieu stays healthy. Also, tonight, I'm very excited for this game. The Yankees got Jhony Brito. I think I said his name right on the mound. He pitched very, 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 very well in his first start of the year and his debut start actually ever. He's a 25-year-old pitcher. He came up, because of an injury, yeah, because Rodon's hurt. You got Severino on the IL as well. So when you look at this Yankees rotation, it's pretty depleted outside of Nestor Cortez and Garrett Cole. So Brito, listen, man, if he can step in and have another good start and impress Yankees fans, then he might be able to cement himself into this Yankees rotation and might say, hey, even when these guys come back, if I keep pitching well, why not keep me up? Last year, we saw him pitch a little bit, not too much. He came up for a stint and pitched 2 games in April. He actually pitched 3 innings last April. He gave up no runs, and he struck out 4 batters in 3 innings. So he's got potential. This guy's got potential. So maybe, like I said, if he can replicate that first start of the year, I know it was against the San Francisco Giants, but he dominated them. He only let up 2 hits. He let up 2 hits, walked 1 guy, and struck out 6. So if Brito can come out here tonight and have another strong start, then maybe even when these guys do come back and they are ready to take their spots back in the rotation, maybe he can say, hey, Boone has no choice but to still keep him in the rotation with those guys, and maybe he moves somebody else back. So Brito, if he can have a strong start tonight, that should excite Yankees fans. But yeah, other than that, Volpe, hopefully he can step it up because he can shut guys like me up, and he can make guys like my boy Rocco and Pardo I got shit on me, right? But yeah, Volpe, got to step it up. Gleyber Torres is back. But let's talk some New York Mets because they are finally 500. Kodai Senga Day is today. The Mets home opener went very well yesterday. But before I do get into Kodai Senga, because everybody knows I love Kodai Senga already, I want to talk about Starlin Marte and the fact that I think Starlin Marte is the most underrated player in all of baseball. We're forgetting that this guy, what does he have, 2 All-Star appearances? That's a shame that he only has 2 All-Star appearances. It's really a shame. He should be a multi-time All-Star. He's the most underrated player in all of baseball, no doubt in my mind. You saw the impact that he had with the New York Mets last year. He was a guy who took over prime Andrew McCutcheon's center field spot when he was with the Pittsburgh Pirates. That's how good Starlin Marte was. Starlin Marte is coming into the Mets, and he's probably our most consistent hitter in the offense. Who's more consistent than Starlin Marte? I mean, we saw how important he was. When we lost him, we sucked. Our offense took a huge hit. Why do you think Pete Alonso led the league in RBIs last year? It's because guys like Marte and Nimmo hit in front of him. Mostly Marte. Marte is a better hitter than Nimmo. Nimmo gets on base left and right. Yes. But better hitter-wise, it's Marte. That's why if Nimmo did get hurt, we have Starlin Marte that can bat lead off. We can throw McNeil in that 2-hole or vice versa. But I don't want Nimmo to get hurt. That would suck, and it would hurt us. But we do, like Starlin, everyone always forgets about Starlin Marte, I feel like. Not Mets fans, but people around the league, they forget we have this guy in the 2-hole. Our lineup is always, it's Alonso and Lindor, Alonso and Lindor, Alonso and Lindor. We got to start showing Starlin Marte some more love. He might be better. Listen, I know this might piss off some guys. This might piss off some fans. But Starlin Marte might be a more consistent hitter. I'm not going to say better hitter, but a consistent hitter than Alonso and Lindor. And if there's a big spot up, and you tell me, do I want Francisco Lindor up or Pete Alonso up? I'm saying, why not Starlin Marte? I know a lot of people will say Jeff McNeil even too, because they're more consistent than those two guys. But those two guys have been popping off. They got off to a rough first couple games. Back to back yesterday. And I'm pretty sure it did Alonso's home run. I think it was Key told me that whatchamacallit. One of the fans, one of the kids actually stole that ball from Jazz in center field when Alonso hit that home run. But Lindor murdered that ball. But Francisco Lindor is playing really, really well. So I'm hyped to see that. Hopefully he can get it going. But yeah, as much as I love Lindor and Alonso, I still think in a big spot, fans have already said it, in a big spot, they'd rather Jeff McNeil up. We saw Jeff McNeil pull through in the wild card round last year in game 2. But in a big spot, yeah. Why not Starlin Marte? You look at his numbers last year, he hit over 290. He's a guy who has 15 plus, 20 plus home run potential out of the 2 spot. He's probably one of our fastest guys on the roster. Probably second fastest, right outside of Tim LeCastro, actually. But yeah, in a big spot, I'm taking Marte over Lindor, and I'm taking Marte over Alonso. I'm taking Marte maybe even over McNeil. I love Starlin Marte. He's the most underrated player in baseball, no doubt in my mind. And the defense he provides in right field as well. And the crazy part is he's 35 years old, and he's still doing this. He's still playing at a high level, at an all-star level. So I hate when fans forget about Starlin Marte. But happy Kodai Senga Day. Kodai Senga looking to continue my case for him to win the Cy Young Award this year. A lot of people got him to win the Rookie of the Year, which is a great pick. Kind of like Jose Abreu a couple years ago, 30-year-old making his major league debut. But Senga, man, he excited a lot of fans. He really settled in after that first inning in his first start. Now in Citi Field, too. He's probably going to feel the same amount of pressure because he hasn't pitched in New York yet. But pitching in Japan is similar to pitching in New York, but he still said it felt a little different, as it should. But he's a guy who's probably going to adjust quickly. He won 6 Japan Series titles over in Japan, and it's not like he was a minor leaguer. I was talking about it on the last pod. Kodai's not a minor leaguer. He's not some blue chip prospect. He would have been the ace on Team Japan this year, the team that won the World Baseball Classic, the best team in the world. He would have been the ace. Does that mean he's the best pitcher in the world? No. I'm just putting it out there. Kodai Senga is that good. I think his floor is a 3.5 ERA. And his ceiling is, maybe just a shutout. Literally, if he can do what he can do 4 out of 5 starts, that first start, 3 out of 5 starts even, he's going to be considered an ace. 8 Ks, 5 innings, got guys throwing the bat. He's ridiculous. I love Kodai Senga. I love the potential of Kodai Senga. I think he's got Cy Young potential. And listen, come the end of the year, with the way that Scherzer's been showing the Mets fans that maybe he's deteriorating or something like that, I don't think it is. I think it's maybe the pitch clock, and he needs to get used to it because later in games, he said that pitchers are going to start to get more tired. Maybe we need to switch to a 6-man rotation for him or something. But Kodai, I think he's got the potential to emerge as the best Mets pitcher. Is he going to be better than prime Verlander or prime Scherzer? I don't know. But Verlander and Scherzer aren't in their prime anymore. Am I saying that Verlander and Scherzer are going to suck? No. But innings-wise, when you take a look at the volume at the end of the year, like innings, ERA, strikeouts, base on balls, not just ERA, because a lot of people do just look at ERA, but I'm not going to look at just ERA. Because Scherzer had one of the best ERAs of his life last year. He had the best ERA last year in his whole entire career, but he only pitched less than 150 innings. So that's why he wasn't in the Cy Young contention. But Verlander, on the other hand, he was, because he had a good ERA and he had a good amount of innings pitched. So I want to see, I think Kodai is going to have the most innings pitched out of both those guys. And I think he might have a better ERA because he is that good. Like I said, he's not a blue chip prospect. He's coming over from the second best league in the world. It could be the best. We don't know. Probably not. But listen, Kodai Senga is that good. If you're not doing anything before the Yankees game and you're a Yankees fan, check out this guy today because he's actually so much fun to watch. He's got ghost forkball. He's got unknown pitches probably still that he's got in his back pocket, making people throw the bat. But yeah, and the Mets do. The one negative part about the Mets, though, we got a bullpen issue, a major bullpen issue. Losing Edwin Diaz is really starting to show. Because if we had Diaz, it would be simple. David Robertson in the 8th, and then we got in the 7th. We can go Adam Ottavino. We got Drew Smith as well. So really the 6, 7, 8, 9 locked up. But now without Edwin Diaz, it literally screws everything up. And what did I say at the beginning of the year? Losing Edwin Diaz is going to screw everything up for this Mets bullpen. Because we were a 101-win team last year with a lackluster offense, with a lackluster starting rotation. But you know what bought us out a lot? Edwin Diaz. You look at our bullpen last year, really, who was it? It was, Ottavino, Drew Smith for half a year, and then he got hurt. We saw Michael Givens come up and have a couple good starts, but then he got shelled. Elser Hernandez kind of sucked. It was really Ottavino pitched one inning, and then Diaz would come in and not only pitch one inning sometimes, pitch multiple innings and literally save our asses. And when we had that 6-4 lead the other night against the Milwaukee Brewers, if we had Edwin Diaz, we don't lose that game. That's where Edwin Diaz, that's where it's going to start to show. And I think it already is. Our bullpen, without the best closer in the league, if he was a middle of the pen, like a middle of the pack closer, just a good closer, like a Familia, like just a middle of the pack closer, then it wouldn't be a big deal. But this is the best relief pitcher in baseball that we just lost. And it's really starting to show. So we do have a bullpen problem. We do need more bullpen arms. And Tyler McGill, thank God he wasn't hurt after he got drilled in the ankle. But this is an alarming problem for the Mets. Ottavino let up a bomb the other night in the 9th. Now, is he not a 9th inning pitcher? Is that just an early season struggle? Potentially, yeah. But he's also 39 years old. So, David Robertson, I'm hoping he can save this and really emerge as a lockdown closer at the end. We saw him do it with the Yankees when Mariano Rivera went down a couple years ago. Well, not a couple years ago, a long time ago. Jesus. I'm young but old, but I feel like I'm just getting old so quickly, and it's scaring me. Because I literally, I feel like just yesterday it was David Wright, 2015, popping that home run in Citi Field in the World Series. Or Curtis Granderson. Man, so long ago. Or 2016, Syndergaard versus Bumgarner. Whew, that was a good game. That was supposed to be a rotation. We had a young rotation. Now, 5 years later, we have the oldest rotation in baseball. Jesus. Time flies. But yeah, the Mets do have a bullpen problem. I'm not going to spend too much time on it. They play tonight, so hopefully they can figure that out. But another thing I want to bring up about the Mets, last but not least, this Francisco Alvarez thing. He's starting tomorrow. Great news. But we got to get this kid some at-bats. If Narvaez is out for a long time, or however long he's out for, he'll probably be back soon. And then Alvarez will be sitting right back down because Buck has been basically just shitting on the guy, which is ridiculous. Because, this guy is a top 3 prospect in the MLB, and we don't have the confidence to play him the first 2 games that he's called up over Tomas Nido. even though Nito had a nice little hit, nice little base knock last night. Well, yesterday. But yeah, dude, like Alvarez, top 3 prospect in baseball, has that potential to be a 25 plus, 30 plus home run catcher. That's what everybody's saying in the Mets system. Why not give this kid ABs? Is he really not ready? And if he is not ready, then why is he our 3rd string catcher? If he's our 3rd string catcher and he's the number 3 prospect in baseball, why is he not playing over Tomas Nido? Why? Shouldn't we have another 3rd string catcher then? If we really think Alvarez needs more time in the minors, shouldn't we have another 3rd string catcher then on this team or in the system to call up when one of the catchers get hurt and keep Alvarez down so we can keep working and getting his ABs because he's not ready for the majors? But if he's our 3rd string catcher and he's the top 3 prospect in baseball, then he should be getting ABs over a guy like Tomas Nido. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't. If Francisco Alvarez, even if he can't catch, who cares if he can't catch? This Mets offense, like I said, last year was lackluster. This year, it's the same thing. It's kind of lackluster. Outside of the top 5 guys, it's lackluster. And if Alvarez, I was talking about in the last pod, if Alvarez can come in here and be the guy that everybody in the Mets farm system is hyping him up to be, and he can turn into this guy as a DH even, I don't care if he can't catch. If he can hit 25, 30 home runs, I don't ever want him to catch. I would love him to be our full-time DH for the next decade. That would be awesome. Am I saying that? No, that's a lot of pressure for the kid. But if he's that much of a power bat and he's our 3rd string catcher, put the guy in the lineup. He's ready. Unless he's not. And Billy Epler and everybody in the farm system has been lying to us. Because when Buck talks about him, it just does not sound pretty. It does not sound like Buck wants Francisco Alvarez to be the Mets starting catcher anytime soon. So that's an alarming problem with the Mets. Bullpen's an alarming problem with the Mets. But hey, Pete Alonso's 2nd in the league in home runs right now, only 7 games in. But Lindor and him went back-to-back. Kodai Senga Day. Let's get a Kodai Day, man. I think we need like a little... Like it was Happy Harvey Day, it was Happy DeGrom Day. We need Kodai Senga Day to really take off. So happy Kodai Senga Day. Let's get into Knicks postseason predictions. Playing the Cavs, man. Cleveland Cavaliers. If you told me last summer when we got Jalen Brunson and all the hoopla about missing Donovan Mitchell, blah, blah, blah. Knicks missed out on Donovan Mitchell. They could have added 10 plus wins, blah, blah, blah. How many wins did the New York Knicks have last year? Let's look it up right now. I totally forgot off the top of my head. New York Knicks record 2021 through 2022. Let's see. They had 37 wins last year. And they were a 47-win team this year. If I'm doing my math correctly, the Knicks added 10 wins without Donovan Mitchell. They added 10 wins without trading their whole entire team for Donovan Mitchell. The Knicks were smart for the first time in a long time. They proved everybody wrong, at least nationally. Maybe not locally, but nationally, yeah. They proved everybody wrong. And they went with a guy from the Dallas Mavs who averaged less than 17 points per game. And now that guy is a superstar. He's a superstar. He's a top 10 point guard in the league. I could probably make a case for him being a top 5 point guard in the league. He definitely should win most improved player. 24 a game this year. 24 a game. Let's pull this one up. Let's pull up my favorite site. StatMoose. My favorite site. Why? Because it's awesome. You find stats in literally a matter of seconds. So Jalen Brunson's stats since January 1st. Let's see. Share the screen. $27.8 points per game since the start of the new year. I mean, that's close to 28 a night from your starting point guard. Also averaging 5.8 assists, so close to 6 assists. He's also shooting over 50% from the field. Jalen Brunson is him. Jalen Brunson is a top 5 point guard in this league. He made the Knicks. He gave the Knicks 10 more wins this year because it really wasn't anything crazy. We didn't add a bench piece. We didn't we added Josh Hart, and the big switch was Jalen Brunson. That was the big move. That was the big splash move that everybody says wasn't a big splash move. Oh, we need Donovan Mitchell. Stephen A. Smith. The Knicks should have gotten Donovan Mitchell. We should have gave up RJ Barrett. Dude, shut up, Stephen A. No one cares what Stephen A. has to say about the Knicks. I don't think any Knicks fan cares what Stephen A. Smith has to say about the Knicks anymore, because he said he was basically underplaying and undervaluing Jalen Brunson going to the Knicks. And he was the one telling Knicks fans that they should be upset and they should be going to James Nolan and complaining to Leon Rose, not actually complaining, but basically complaining by not going to Knicks games. Saying, oh, I have no business going to Knicks games because they don't put a good product on the floor. Well, Stephen A., you said Donovan Mitchell would have added 10 plus wins. You said Jalen Brunson won't even add 5. Jalen Brunson took this Knicks team, a 37-win Knicks team, and turned them into a 47-win Knicks team. Julius Randle, he could have gotten killed if he walked in Manhattan in last year in May. He really could have. I don't think he actually would have. But it's just, a great metaphor, I think, to use. Randle would have gotten murdered if he walked in Manhattan last May. Jalen Brunson took a little bit of pressure off of him, added a weapon to this Knicks team with Julius Randle, and now Julius Randle's an all-NBA power forward again. So we have 2 top 10 players at their respective positions. We have RJ Barrett, who could still emerge into a top 15 player, hopefully at his respective position. We have Emmanuel Quickley, who over his last 20 games has been averaging over 20 a night. He's been shooting over 40% from 3. He's been averaging 1.4 steals per game. So that's another thing Quickley has been going off, and I want to talk about him a little bit more. And we still have Obi Toppin, who Knicks Central, shout out at Knicks Central, Alex B. He put it up the other day. Obi Toppin stats in his 9 starts throughout his career, they're insane. This Knicks team, and Quentin Grimes, almost left out my boy Grimes. And Josh Hart, he's not even that old too. He's only 27 years old, and he'll be a solid bench piece for another 2 to 3 years, probably maybe even 5. That would be awesome. Mitchell Robinson, down low, whether he gets moved or not. We still got Hartenstein. Even Jericho Sims, who hasn't played in a while, he still looked great when not great, but good, like a raw prospect when he was playing at times. This Knicks team has so much potential going forward. If they win the first round against the Cleveland Cavaliers, the city will burn down. It will burn down. And if we win the second round and we go to the Eastern Conference Finals, like a lot of Knicks fans in Knicks spaces, they haven't been saying it's going to happen, but they're saying they could see it, because we do see it in the NBA sometimes. We see some teams surprise conference finals runs. I mean, nobody expected the Mavs to make it last year. Nobody expected the Suns to make the finals a couple years ago. Nobody expected the Hawks to conquer the Philadelphia 76ers. Sometimes there's surprises. A couple years ago with Damian Lillard and the Trailblazers, even though they haven't been back in a long time. So Dame, maybe you should come to the Knicks. But actually, no, because we got Jalen Brunson. I am pumped about the Knicks' future. And if you haven't been, if you're a big baseball guy or a big football guy, not really a big basketball guy, just know the New York Knicks, they're back. And it's not like 2 years ago when they overachieved. This looks like something that's sustainable. And that's why I call this season that just ended last night a full-on success, no matter what happens in the postseason. Now, if we get swept and we get our asses kicked, and this take will completely change. But if we go to a 6 or 7 game series and we see some awesome performances by Randall, awesome performances by Brunson, maybe an awesome performance by Barrett to save his Knicks career, I'll call it a success. Because then next year we could take that step. Next year or in the offseason we can get that guy to take that step. But then the expectations are more than just a first round series win. And I still expect them to win in this first round. I think they're a better team than the Cavs. Defensively, offensively, maybe not. But when you look at the matchups with Cleveland, you look at Cleveland starting 5, and you look at the Knicks starting 5. Point guard, Mitchell, that's going to be a hard one. I'm not going to lie. I love Jalen Brunson, but Donovan Mitchell is an offensive juggernaut. I was talking about it last week. Throw as many screens that you possibly can at Donovan Mitchell. As many. But you look at Cleveland starting 5 of Donovan Mitchell, Darius Garland. They got Isaac Okoro at the 3, who's not, listen, offensively, he's nothing. He really averages 21 minutes a night. So it's not like he's playing that full. It's really Karis LeVert and Ricky Rubio who we got to worry about. But really, it's really just Karis LeVert. So we're deeper. And Karis LeVert's, he's been out with a knee injury. So maybe he comes into the playoffs a little bit banged up. But when you look at the matchups, Barrett can take Isaac Okoro easily. And he could take Karis LeVert when he comes into the game to substitute. Grimes, lock up Darius Garland, please. Let's throw as many screens as we can at Donovan Mitchell. And let's upset these Cavs. Let's prove Jalen Rose wrong. Let's prove basically the whole entire ESPN staff wrong. ESPN hates the Knicks. The Knicks are underdogs. And Julius Randle, yeah, he sucked 2 years ago. Right? But here's what I predict. I think Julius Randle will have a very good postseason. I think he will be the reason that we actually win the Julius Randle 2 years ago. He didn't have anybody. He had Reggie Bullock. He had year 2 RJ Barrett. He had Elfrid Payton as his point guard. He had Taj Gibson and Nerlens Noel as his centers. He had agent Derrick Rose coming in off the bench to really just try to score some points and take some pressure off for him. And he could only do it for 25 minutes a night. And he had a rookie in Emmanuel Quickly coming up, taking 35-foot threes, sometimes 40-foot threes. So Julius Randle had no other options. So all the Atlanta Hawks had to do was just throw double teams and triple teams at Julius Randle. And Julius Randle got flustered because it was really the first time that's ever happened to him. So I'm not really going to, I don't care about what happened 2 years ago with Julius Randle. I'm not judging Julius Randle and going to call him a bad postseason player because of one postseason appearance. But if he sucks this one, then yeah, I'm going to start saying it. But Julius Randle, I think he will have a very good postseason. Like I just said, I think he might be the reason that we win this first round. Jalen Brunson alleviates so much more pressure off of him. And it's not like it's just Brunson and Randle too. Emmanuel Quickly is another option now. RJ Barrett, I mean, he scored 28. Please stop shooting threes though, RJ Barrett, 0 for 9 from 3. Quentin Grimes, he can get going. It's not like 2 years ago when it was Reggie Bullock who really could cap off at 10 points. Elfrid Payton coming for 20 minutes a night. It's not those Knicks. It's these Knicks stealing it from those Mets. But yeah, I'm pumped up for the New York Knicks playoffs. That's what I'm going to spend some time on, though, today. Actually, you know what? I'm going to talk some football real quick. I'm going to talk Aaron Rodgers, and then I'm going to end it. Aaron Rodgers was seen working out with Alan Lazard, apparently wearing Jets cleats. So if you're a Jets fan, and then you saw Joe Douglas last night basically on stage with Boomer Esiason and all boozed up saying that Aaron Rodgers, he will be here. He did say, he'll be here. So Aaron Rodgers will be a Jet. Shut up saying that Aaron Rodgers won't be a Jet. He will be a Jet. And the Jets will be a top 5 team in football. And yes, the Jets are Super Bowl or bust. And yes, guess what? Why shouldn't we? Garrett Wilson, going to be a top 5 wide receiver. We already have a top 5 defense. It's Super Bowl or bust. It's not playoff or bust. It's Super Bowl or bust. So everybody can say the Jets are just the same old Jets. So no, Aaron Rodgers isn't here yet. The Jets are being the Jets. No. Because you're always going to have the last laugh when they have a wide receiver room of Garrett Wilson, Alan Lazard, Mecole Hardman, Corey Davis. They still got C.J. Uzomah. They still got Tyler Conklin. They got Mekhi Becton coming back. They got Elijah Vera Tucker coming back. Breece Hall coming back. They still got Michael Carter, potentially in on Ezekiel Elliott, potentially in on Odell Beckham Jr. And you heard Joe Douglas. Aaron Rodgers is coming, and we have that top 5 defense even last year when we were 7-10. The Jets are coming. The Jets will be a top 5 team in football, and they will have the last laugh. That's it, though. Deuces.
I'm going platinum like 50 and 03, and with these fights I feel like Floyd because I'm 50 and OB, trying to stack it to a B like Beyonce and Hov G, and if you doubt it from the jump you could swallow and hold me. You ever just feel like no matter what anybody tell you, you dubbing that shit cause you just know you that guy? That's how I'm feeling right now. I'm about to levitate.